Alrighty then, cooking bloke. So, there's a few of you that like my cooking videos, and so I thought whilst I'm cooking, no big deal to make a video of it. So over here, we always have a base when we're cooking, yeah? We always got to have a base, particularly when we're cooking like Mediterranean food or Indian food. And the base, of course, is very usually onions and garlic. Now in here I have a whole onion of garlic, which consists of about 12 cloves, and so there is an enormous amount in there, and when you munch on one of those, it's a pure delight. Now those onions, they are they're nice and what do you call that? It's sauteed or partially cooked. So I don't want them to be cooked anymore at this moment in time. Now the other ingredient that I have is I have mixed kidney bean and fresh tomatoes. Now the thing is about this meal, every single ingredient is cosmic ingredient, people. Now I could say God, I could say it's from God. I'm choosing to say it's cosmic ingredient. And the reason why cosmic ingredient is so important is because all of this stuff is natural to the cosmos. Here we have coriander, which is always a beautiful addition to any Mediterranean food. I've got one of the mushrooms that I found the other day, had that one remaining. Then I've got the red peppers, olives, and I have a big lump of freshly ground ginger. Also, I have a whole lemon, freshly squeezed, and then I have a tin of chopped tomatoes, and if need be, a tube of tomato puree. And then for a bit of, I don't really say bulk or anything like that, I just like to eat boiled potatoes from time to time, so I've got these, and I'm going to whack them all in the pot. This is what that chamomile, lemon and ginger and cayenne pepper and the lime tree flowers, there's a whole bunch of stuff going on in there, and I'll wash these down, which is of course the supplements that I spoke to you about the other day. So when we look at how do we get closer to God, some of you may think that is an unnecessary statement. You could say, why don't you just say healthy? Because when we are healthy, when we are the perfect specimen of a human being, that's what the universe intended us to be. God intended us to be. Now, what I will say to you, why I am so emphatic about a creator, is because all of the experience that I've had in my life has dragged me screaming to accept that, because everywhere I look I'm confronted with it, and I can't go through life being a Richard Dawkins and dismissing all of the wonderful, incredible beauty of the world You can see in his face he's never seen a single smidgen of it, ever. He just hasn't. He's not touched by grace. So these things, these foods, they have been created by the sun and the air and the water, the nutrients and the love of the universe. So put the pan back over here and start adding in a few of the ingredients. And the beautiful thing about this meal is that really it's so simple. All you have to do is chop up and bang the stuff in. Now what I found about coriander, if you cook it too long, it loses its pungency, it loses its aromatic taste, its gorgeous taste. And so I always just turn that in at the end. I don't cook it. How could anybody have a problem with this? Huh? So that in itself is beautiful, but it needs a bit of sauce. And so, this is where the chopped tomatoes come in. And it may even need another one of those. You see, what I'll do is I'll just, you know, obviously make a whole bunch of this, and then I'll freeze half of it down. And so I'm feeling that it would benefit, certainly, from, turn that down, I can't stand things when they're furiously bubbling. So I'm going to put another tin of chopped tomatoes. Ouch! Now then, when that happens, it's a bit of a pain in the ass. I'll deal with that later. But another tin of those. And after I've tasted it, I'm going to decide whether I want to put some more chilies in. And at the moment it's only got the fresh chilies and they're pretty strong, but if it needs more then I'll put ground chili flakes in. And I think it would benefit from being a bit richer, so I'm going to put some of this in. Only half a tube, I think. Can you imagine all the antioxidants and vitamins in here? Yes, that's giving it that what it needs. And so just to have a little bit of a taste of that. Oh wow. And the thing is about it, we don't want to overcook. We want everything to be crunchy. We want everything to be partially cooked. And so it's not just a mushy mess of indiscriminate pulp. Those individual sensations of the lumps of garlic, the olives, the tomatoes, the flakes of onion, the mushroom, the beans, the kidney beans. So whilst that's doing that, I'm going to go and get my turn that down a little bit more. Walnuts, which they're in the middle stage of preparation now. Ta-da! So, initially what we have to do with these walnuts is we penetrate them rather deeply with a fork, so the saline solution can follow the penetration, and that then has a softening effect on them. Now, what I've done, let me put this down here. You see, the whole thing about the preparation of these walnuts is that we get them young enough before the wood from the shell starts to develop. But I've picked some before that stage and some during the early stages of it, and I'm thinking that the whole pickling process will probably soften that wood up to a point whereby it is edible, and if they aren't, then they're not. You know, we want to come upon one of those, and we can discern very easily, but just by cutting. If the knife just doesn't go straight through, then, you know, if it's not palatable, then I'll just discard those. But I thought, well, I mean, I may as well try to see if I can soften that woodiness, and then I like the earthy thing about it, and you know, if there's a thin film of the shell, the wood which is growing, great, I'm all up for that. And so the next stage, these have been in saline solution for 2 weeks. You leave them in 1 week with a heavy salinated solution. Then you empty that out and you do it again for another week, and then you drain that off, and then you leave them to dry out for a couple of days, and then you put them in the jars. And I bought these beautiful jars off eBay, and so gonna bang those in there like that. And then on top of that, I pour the boiled white vinegar with whatever herbs I'm going to be using. Now, the herbs I'm going to be using are chilies, like I've used in that, fresh ginger, maybe in some I'll put garlic as well, and maybe in others I'll put some mixed herbs, or black peppers, black peppercorns. What I'm going to do is, because I'm going to have I've got another bunch up there, and so I'm going to have probably 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, maybe about 6 or 8 of these jars, and so I may as well experiment with them. So that's what I'm going to be doing. I'm going to boil up the vinegar and the herbs a little bit later. So I'm going to put these in here shortly. That is as cooked as I want them to be. So I'm just going to turn those in. Because those potatoes were quite well cooked. Now let me just even the chilies are still crunchy, and I'm happy with that. And And the only thing I need to do now is to put the coriander in. You can turn that off and just, you see, the thing is, after I have eaten the first batch, I'm going to be needing to reheat the rest of the stuff, and so then it's going to get cooked again. And so now I'm going to get onions, bit of garlic, olive, and that ring of chilli. That's fine. Oh, and you know, when you're eating something hot, it's highly satiating. It's kind of like, but you know, you got to keep banging it in. What's all that about? I don't get that. Seems like on one hand we're suffering, but then we like the suffering. Ah, human being. So that is the meal I'll be having for tonight and tomorrow night. Then half of it I will freeze it down and I'll bring it back out again in a week or so. So simple, eh? And you can see that that's highly nutritious. There's a lot of protein in there, an abundance of vitamins. It's tasty, aromatic, it's super healthy. All these foods came from the cosmos, people, without too much human intervention. And so I think if we eat like that and live our lives like that, then we exercise and we continue with the level of purity which the universe had in mind for us, like a native person when they are foraging and hunting all the time, and they've got these bodies chiselled out of marble or granite. It's quite something, people, and the vast majority of people have forgotten what it's like to have a very fit, muscular body, and this is why I say that when we eat these natural foods and we have a high level of exercise, then we are toned all over and we're physically active, and we can feel the whole of our body. I can feel every muscle in the body, and you know, on a constant basis I know things are moving. I've got an awareness about all the muscle groups, and so that increases my awareness as a human being, my human experience. And ultimately what that means is, when our bodies are kept in tip-top condition, our minds are much more liable to be in tip-top condition as well. And when our minds and our body are working in a beautiful state of confluence and unity, that's then, ladies and gentlemen, when we are closer to God. I'm just going to heavily salted at the moment instead of pickled, but by the time these have been in the vinegar for 2 weeks, 4 weeks, the longer the better, then the salt is going to be removed and the vinegar is going to be supplanted, and they're going to be awesome. And so I'll let you know how these go. Other than that, guys and girls, have a good one.